Good morning. There's a saying in Italian, pochi ma buoni. There aren't a lot of them, but they're really good. One of the great gifts of my life has been that I spent a little over a week of the first month that I was a priest on a mission trip with some college students in El Salvador. I'd gotten an invitation a few months before I was ordained through Focus, the Fellowship of Catholic University Students, to accompany this group of about 10 students and some of their campus ministers deep into the jungle in El Salvador to serve and help, kind of witness some of the life of this set of parishes that were cared for by a priest there. In El Salvador, if you're over the age of 25, you lived through a civil war. If you're alive right now, your life is ravaged by gang violence. Most parishes there, no pews, just some plastic chairs. If you get a chair, there's an altar, there's an ambo, maybe there are speakers. There's no electric bill, because there's no electric, even when it's 100 degrees and 80% humidity. And the people I met there were so alive. You could sense, it was palpable, their desire to be at the Mass and to be with each other. And they didn't seem satisfied, content, to just kind of, okay, now I've got this, so I can move on with my life. I have this for myself. It was clear that they wanted other people to have this. And so on the first or the second full day that we were there, some of the parishioners, along with some people from a neighboring town, came to give a workshop to us about how to do what they were doing, which was, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Going door to door to their neighbors, inviting them to come to Mass. And it was sort of interesting and exciting, and I said to one of the people who was giving the workshop, like, this is really cool, this is exciting, it's great you're doing this. People in America do not do this. In fact, we kind of associate it with, like, Mormons and Jehovah's Witnesses. And she said, oh yeah, here too. They were taking our people. That's why we started doing it. Jesus makes it abundantly, plainly clear to Peter what our mission is. Do not be afraid. From now on, you will be fishers of men, of people. How often does our fear prevent us from going out on this adventure with Christ? Sometimes as the church in America, we can become a little distracted from our mission. We have great tools for the mission, right? We've got buildings and ministries and budgets, and they're all great as tools for the mission. But sometimes we can start to think that those things are the mission. That if we're running a ministry, or the building is working, or there's a balanced budget, that we're fulfilling the mission. Peter, when Jesus comes to him on the boat, is exhausted. He's been fishing all night and caught nothing. Incidentally, the apostles who were fishermen do not seem to have been very good at it. The only time they ever catch fish is when Jesus performs a miracle. He's tired and exhausted from doing all of this, trying to do it himself, and it's fruitless. Is our life ever like that? And the situation changes entirely. Not because his skills improve radically, or somebody gives him a really good fishing workshop, but because Jesus enters. And his eyes, instead of being mainly on the tools, are on Jesus. Where does our life need more of that? Incidentally, it may not be apparent to those, if you're just coming here on a Sunday, kind of in the pews out, you may not know about this, so it'll become apparent at some point. We've had an influx of people inquiring about the sacraments, enough so I met with Maureen Villa, our great faith formation director, this week, and I think we felt like people whose nets were tearing, and we were a little overwhelmed. She's been used to walking with like 3 or 4 people at a time, and between here and St. John St. Joe's, we're in the process of trying to help form about 20 people, which is beautiful and a huge gift. So if there's an email that I haven't replied to recently, I apologize. That's probably what I was trying to work on. Right? And these things are never, right? They're never a result of something mainly that we do. Right? They're free gifts given by God. A couple of weeks after I came back from this mission trip, I was talking on the phone to one of the priests in our diocese who had been talking to some friends who heard that I'd gone on this mission trip. And he said, I didn't even know you were interested in this at all. I heard you went to El Salvador on a fishing trip. I was a little confused. And then we talked a little bit more, and he said, oh, you went on a mission trip? I thought they said a fishing trip. But it was.